want to thank you all for joining us today. This is a pretty significant milestone for Herons Key and Emerald communities as we break ground on this beautiful new community. It's a great pleasure to have so many friends and project partners, community leaders, and peers join us today. Friends from the city of Gig Harbor, we've got councilmen, we've got our city clerk, our city administrator, Ron Williams, you're going to hear from, Jennifer Kester, who's been very integral into the process. Jennifer and I were just talking, we first started meeting in 2011 about the project. Boy, you had no idea what we were going to do, did you, at that point? I want to thank our partners at Rice Fergus Miller Architects, LCS Development, the Whites Company, and Ziegler, who are the underwriters of our bonds. Our leadership and peers from Leading Age Washington, representatives from Olympic Property Group, John Chadwell, thank you for sharing your site for today's ceremony. Representatives from the Chamber of Commerce, and a number of other business and community leaders. I want to thank the board members, staff members of Emerald Communities, Emerald Heights and Herons Key, and of course the Herons Key future residents. We sincerely thank all of you who have helped make this day a reality. It's unbelievable that it's here, but it's a reality. I'd like to now introduce City Administrator Ron Williams and invite Ron to say a few words on behalf of the City of Gig Harbor.
Thank you, Lisa. It's really a pleasure to be here. We have a nice team from the city, as Lisa mentioned. Even our police chief, Kelly Busey, is here. He's really concerned about the senior crime that's going to be happening here, so I thought he'd scope out the area in advance, and so we're always preparing with the city. It's been a real privilege to be part of the Citizen Advisory Board for Herons Key and to meet regularly with other city members, community members, and we had the privilege of taking a tour to Emerald Heights in Redmond. We were just blown away at the quality of this facility, and it just gives us great anticipation of what's going to come here in Gig Harbor. We got to meet with the residents there in Emerald Heights, and we ate lunch with them in their restaurant, and they asked us, how do you like this? What do you think about that? Turns out they set the menu. The Citizen Committee advises on what ought to be on the menu and things that are happening. It's just a great feel to be there, and we're just really looking forward to it here in Gig Harbor. I've been getting calls from reporters these last couple days, and they said, is it true that this is the largest construction project in Gig Harbor history? And as far as we know, it is. It is the largest project. I apologize to the folks representing St. Anthony's here today. You're losing your spot. They were the biggest, but now this will be the largest square foot-wise, and probably permitting fee-wise. Our budget thanks you for all the many dollars that we have been collecting from you. You saved us a lot of headache. Thank you for that. But we're just thrilled to be part of this. We're our hats off to the OPG people, John Chadwell, John Pope, and the others. They everything they do here is such quality work, and this Herons Key just meets and exceeds those standards. Excellent. So we're grateful to be here, grateful to be part of this, and can't wait to see the shovels turning and the building begin.
Thanks, Ron. I want to bring up to the podium now Kent Larson from LCS, Brian Bass from Whites, and Mike Miller from Rice Fergus Miller. They want to say a few words as well.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. LCS has been developing and marketing continuing care retirement communities since 1971. So we've been involved with a lot of projects during that time. And with all these projects, groundbreaking is really a special time. I can tell you there is so much work that goes into, especially with the CCRC, because of the approval process, the pre-sales, lots of turns in the way along to get the groundbreaking underway. And it's a significant milestone. I've been at LCS for 35 years now, and so I can tell you I've seen a lot of groundbreakings in my day, but I can assure you that Herons Key is really going to be a special project. The Gig Harbor location, the site, many attributes of the area, I think it's just going to be an outstanding and one of the premier CCRCs in the country. The project team has really worked hard to make sure to incorporate all the assets of this location into the design, and I think has done an excellent job at that to meet all the needs and expectations of the residents going forward. Let me give you a short rundown of some of the events since we started the development process. We were engaged in 2011. Lisa mentioned that earlier. So that's when we started the project. In May of 12, we completed the initial feasibility study for the project, which included site and market analysis, and we did focus groups. Some of you may remember that. But actually, all that work came out very, very positively. And so ultimately, at that time, there was only 10 acres under contract, and we decided we needed to do a bigger project, and so it was increased to 18. The seller and developer of Harbor Hill, which Heron's Key is now part of, worked with us very well through this process to increase the site, and that was a key issue. And we thank John Chadwell of Olympic Property Group, who I think is here today, and the city planners for being flexible and allowing us to really acquire the site that really met the needs of the project. The final development plan actually includes 184 apartments, 10 cottages, 36 assisted living apartments, and 45 skilled nursing beds. So it's a very well-rounded CCRC with a nice mix, and I think will serve the residents well. So the future residents of Heron's Key they will never regret, believe me, their decision to put a plan in place for their future healthcare needs and as they enjoy their independent lifestyle. And that's what a CCRC is all about, really doing what you want to do, continuing to live independently. Today I'd like to introduce some of the team members that are here from LCS. Jason Jorgensen is here. He's the Senior Project Development Manager and Jason's back there in the corner. He's been working on the project from day one and has done a great job bringing the project to this point. Also have Matt Butler here today. Matt's a design manager, also a registered architect. And I know Matt's here. I don't see him right here. He's right in front of me. But his role with the project is to manage and oversee the design process for the owner. Mike is going to talk about his team. We're very happy to have Rice Fergus Miller on board. We've got in local, they're from Bremerton. Our civil engineer is David Evans and Associates. They're out of Tacoma. Brian is going to talk about the Whites Company. We're very pleased to have them on board. They've been involved in senior housing since the early 70s and have built a lot of our projects along the way, and great experience. And then lastly on the team, two more. Actually, I want to mention the interior design group is Studio 65. They're out of Austin. And lastly, but not least for sure, is Ziegler, our investment banking group that helped us accomplish the financing recently. And a lot of work went into that process from a lot of people. I also really want to thank the City of Gig Harbor for their support of this project. In addition to the assistance with the expansion of our site, there are lots, you can just imagine a project this size, there's always lots of issues, lots of details to work through, from planning and zoning to site plan approval, all the way to construction document approval and permitting. So we're very appreciative of them working with us, and we appreciate very much their collaboration effort. And finally, I wanted to mention how pleased LCS Development is to work with a partner like Emerald Communities. Great leadership at the top with Lisa and Al, and a very dedicated board of directors who, focus on their mission, and that is to provide superior health care to their residents and future residents. And we really value the partnership and are very pleased to be part of this team. So just in closing, I'm really anxious to see this project get done, you can tell. And I'm anxious to come back for the grand opening in 2017. So thank you.
Thanks, Kent. So I wanted to start out by saying, hey, what a great day for a groundbreaking. Speaking strictly from a contractor's perspective. Change orders right there. speaking from a contractor's perspective, we'll take 18 more months of days just like today. We could use some good weather. I'm going to be short here, but ours is primarily a few words about thanks. Thanks for allowing us the opportunity to be involved in this great project. It's a really neat facility. White's was brought on board to help facilitate pre-construction service and are now transitioning into the build phase. So we've been part of the team now for a year and a half and are going to see this thing through the end. We've had a number of folks involved from our team, many of whom aren't here today. But it's been really great to work with such a good owner, such a good developer, design team. We really appreciate it. All told, we will have probably, I was trying to count, 50 to 60 subcontractors involved out here. Many of whom are going to come from the greater Tacoma and even right here from Gig Harbor. So our goal, our mission is not only are we here, it's the bricks and sticks that we have to put together, but it's a mission of building relationships. So we've got to build relationships with between 50 and 60 people while at the same time constructing this great facility. And we've been doing that since, as Kent mentioned, since the 60s and have done that from coast to coast, but are really anxious to do it here in Gig Harbor. It's a great community and we're pleased to be a part of it. Thank you.
I'm the short one. Ron, I want to make one other comment about records. We did set a record for the longest design review process as well in the city of Gig Harbor. So it was wonderful. I've been working on this project with Lisa and our team since 2010. I measure years by my children, and they're in medical school and graduate school right now. I think they were in grade school when we started. They're really smart. But I'd like to thank our team, specifically our sub-consultants, Coughlin Porter Lundeen from Seattle, Berger Partnership is a landscape architect from Seattle, Studio 65 from Austin, Texas. And you may think that's an odd thing, but Studio 65 does a really wonderful job of creating a Northwest environment. We've used them on a number of projects, and you'll see that in this building when it's finished. Our civil engineer is DEA. We've been loving the opportunity to work with White's Construction as well. More importantly, though, I want to talk about our team. I get to sit up here and turn dirt with a shovel and talk to you all, but I really get to work with some really great people at our office. Suzanne Pontecorvo has been our project manager and shouldering most of the responsibility for seeing this project through. Jeremy Sutherland, who's not here, was our designer. Jeff Weiss, who is here, was the lead technical architect on the project. Adita Nelson, who is here as well, assisting with the technical aspects of the project. Mike Sato and Richard Pickering are helping with the detailing of the project and seeing it through construction. And I also want to mention Julie Lawton. Julie's been a really important aspect of our project, helping us with the many of the kind of behind-the-scenes things that we end up needing to do to make a project go forward. Many people ask, why do you do what you do as an architect, and why do you design senior living? And we design senior living. We do a lot of senior living design, and we design it because we know that we can create space and places for people to really thrive in their retirement years. It's not just about living in a place, but it's about creating opportunities for enhanced lifestyles. And we believe that that's what we'll have here at Heron's Key. So I'm really proud of this project. I'm proud of our staff and the people that we've been working with. We love working with Emerald Communities and Emerald Heights. And I think when we get back here to cut the ribbon in 2017, you will see a building that's pretty amazing, both inside and out, and it will be functional and you're going to love living there. I'm looking at you guys right here. So you're going to love living there. I think you're going to create great relationships and build on those relationships. So, congratulations to everybody for today.
Thanks, guys. So we're here to celebrate today, too, our future residents of Herons Key. And so I'd like to give a warm welcome to Bill and Ruth Heathman. They were our very first priority depositors and our very first charter member depositors. So please come up and join me, Bill and Ruth.
We are where the tire hits the road, right here. With all the planning, I did not know it went way back to 2010, because my very first encounter with the project was getting on the phone and calling Emerald Heights to get the phone number of this. I used to. I'm a former staff member of a CCRC and was really anxious to wait till I turned 65 or older. Then I would get to live in one. So we made a reservation. Chris welcomed us at the door, and he said, "Well, you got to be on the waiting list to come here." I looked around. They had apple boxes kind of in their office over at Baker Way, and just a temporary place over there. And then I had Tom was presented to us, and it took me 45 minutes to persuade him that I was over 65 years old, that would actually qualify to move in. Well, then one thing led to another. So on October 8th, year 2012, at 12:04 p.m., we became. And we found out later that is number one. We were the very first people who became on the list. Now, I'm sure there's a whole lot of people all waiting for my speech to get over so we can get on with the more important thing. But and I think I fit the mode that a lot of people I've worked with in the CCRC, and that's to be close with to family. Our daughter lives here in Gig Harbor, and if we were to living here, we would be close to her, and that's one objective that we had, and which we're real pleased about. And we knew Emerald Heights because we've been over there several times. We had friends there, and so on. I knew Kay Wallen through my association with another retirement community. And so it was all falling into place, and we're really, really pleased about that. And so it's a perfect fit. Our daughter here, a brand new building, which we love to live in, develop an association with brand new people also moving in to this Gig Harbor, and we're looking forward to it. So the shovels begin.
Looking forward to the shovels. Okay, Kay, I'm going to go off the program just a little bit. I'm going to take 5 more minutes. I'm sorry, but I think there needs to be some additional recognition here. I want to have our marketing staff, Kay Wallen, Tom Stanfield, Ramona Cirrus, Hillary Robinson. Please come up here. I mean, if it wasn't for and our new team member, Christy, brand new team member, but still going to be a part of the big success. I mean, this team has worked so hard, and they are... Chris Stover. Oh, duh, Chris. My gosh. Where's Chris? Get up here. I was looking for faces, and you're in the back. Yeah. And you're so short, yeah. So... Anyway, this team, we've been working together, and I've been working with this team now since 2012, when we first started taking the $1,000 priority deposits, and then in November of 2013, the 10% deposits, and it's been a great team. We've had the same team in place since the beginning, and I don't want to put you on the spot, Kay or Tom, but if you'd want to say a couple of words. No, not so much. That's fine. We've got more people to speak. But anyway, I just wanted to thank you guys. You've been a great team, and you're a huge part of our success. So now I'd like to invite another short person up to the podium. Sorry, Daphne. Daphne is our board chair for Emerald Communities, and she'd like to say a few words.
Yes, they found a podium I could actually see over. Thank you to whoever set that up. Wow. Driving over here, if we had a board meeting this morning at the inn at Gig Harbor, and driving over here, I kind of started to tear up, which I never do. This is monumental. We started working on this as a board in 2006. This is before Lisa, with essentially the same board, with a couple of people who are no longer on the board, but we've all been together a really, really long time. This is our dream. This is our vision. We want to bring the best that we can possibly bring to seniors. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for deciding to be a part of this, for deciding to live here. It's overwhelming to get that kind of support because it's about your lives. We're absolutely thrilled. It's a culmination, and we are so proud that Heron's Key is clearly already such a success. I can't wait to put the shovel in the dirt, and I want to know what you're going to do with this dirt that we have, the holy shovels that we're going to put in. In addition to all the thank yous that we've already heard, I want to make a special thank you to two other groups. One, and Lisa, you preempted me just a little bit, but the Emerald Communities administrative team has been the leadership for making this happen. So that's Lisa, whom you've met. It's Kay, whom you've met. It's Al Chambard. Where did Al go? Somewhere. And it's Kathleen Wall, who always hides, but she's here somewhere. In the front, hiding in plain sight. And I also want to thank the board members who have made this happen. We have a little tiny board. There are all 5 of us. Bob Christ and Tom Everett and Karen Gorosky and Gary King, who've all been a part of this since day one. We're going to make it happen, and I won't take too much more of your time. I had 45 minutes planned, but I was informed that that wasn't a good idea. So, okay. Thank you for allowing us to come to your community, Gig Harbor. We are thrilled to be here. We are thrilled to be working with our partners and with our future residents. Helps us carry our vision of wonderful senior living to another part of Washington. Thank you.
Okay, now the heavy lifting. I'd like to ask for all the speakers to put on your hard hats, grab your shovels, and we're going to do some heavy lifting and turn the dirt. Into financing actually a few months ahead of the project schedule, and we're into the ground a year early, and that's been a win-win for us as a development team and for Emerald Communities, and we're looking forward to getting Heron's Key open and being a successful community.